So where is Steve Kerr rated?
I think he's rated as one of the top three coaches.
Top three
in the NBA.
Brad Stevens.
I think Brad Stevens, Pop, and Steve Kerr. I think you put them all in the same
Listen,
category.
I never want to count another man's money, and I want to say I really love Steve Kerr. I would play for him any day. But when you're replaceable in the league, that says a lot about you. When another guy can do your job, if anybody is underrated or really not acknowledged, I'm going to talk about Mark Jackson. When I competed against the Warriors, for the Clippers, I literally watched these guys progress, and much like, young guys learning from Mark Jackson. I mean, he taught them how to compete, how to work, how to be pros, how to be champions. And Steve Kerr steps in and just jumps in the driver's seat.
No, they didn't, because they hadn't won anything under Mark Jackson. And this is no disrespect to Mark Jackson, but the progression continued under Steve Kerr.
You're kidding me.
Maybe he was the product of being in the right place at the right time. He didn't screw it up. They've won 3 titles in 4 years. How can you look at Steve Kerr and suggest that he's overrated?
Your high school coach and college coach and the guys who grinded out and put work in with you and the vets your rookie year didn't mean anything. So when you are a finished product in the league, you tell me the guys who worked with you meant nothing.
They meant everything. This is not a shot at Mark Jackson or anybody else. We're talking about Steve Kerr. And what he has done in a short period of time is he's won 3 titles.
Right. It's not easy to coach superstars. People make it sound like, hey, it's a players' league and you win on talent. You do. No one's saying Steph Curry is worse than Steve Kerr. It's better to have Steve Kerr. But what is important is superstars don't coexist well with coaches. We've seen it with the best players. We saw Dwayne Casey, we were just talking about Toronto, get fired with the best record in the league. It's important for a coach to know his spot, know his role, play off well. And I got to tell you this, Will, Steve Kerr's going to the Hall of Fame. Like, people don't realize.
Everybody goes to the basketball Hall of Fame.
That's one of my arguments. Everybody does. Yes, not us, but everybody goes to the Hall of Fame. Steve Kerr, with all of his championships with Chicago, San Antonio, with Golden State, he played on a 72-win team, coached a 73-win team.
Okay, this is going to hurt. So I'm going to be careful about how I do this. But I think Ryan
You're
Hollins,
agreeing with me again. Well, you always agree with me.
Well, you started out so crazy. I can't remember what you first said. You said something like, what did he say? He's
replaceable. He's the most overrated. He's replaceable.
Okay, I want to back away from that. I want to push away from the table there, but say Steve Kerr is getting a little too much credit.
From
and
who?
You guys, well, from you, to start out with, you put him in the top 3. Number 1,
he's not a top 3 coach in the NBA?
Like, I'm going to do Mark first, then come back to you, okay? I think it
You're
will
the
make more
boss.
sense.
I got it.
You want to tell you what's harder than coaching superstars? You said it's hard to coach superstars.
It's
you know
not
what's harder?
easy.
It's not easy. You know what's harder? Coaching a bunch of washed-up guys.
Yes.
Coaching bad players.
Yes.
That's what's hard.
Who are the great coaches
and then
coaching the washed-up players?
Rick Carlisle.
Really? I mean, Rick Carlisle has 1 championship, and I do regard him as a top 5 coach.
Rick Carlisle I think that's going to get to him just a
lottery team.
I love how you just glossed over. Steph Curry wasn't this, Draymond Green, KD. We are talking about 2 of the top 3 players in the NBA, plus Klay Thompson, plus Draymond Green.
And they all want to play for him. They all want to play for him.
This is like you saying no disrespect to Mark Jackson, no disrespect to Steve Kerr. I think he's a great coach. The question is he getting a little too much credit?
Well, properly rated.
When you are coaching an all-star cast like this, and this is a complete all-star team, there is a little, I have to agree with Ryan, this is a players-driven project. It's not easy. You're right, it's not easy to manage. He goes,
can you say that again?
Yeah, you don't hear that kind of thing from me often. It's a players-driven project.
No.
Now back to Tom. Now back to Tom. He's not top 3. Okay, Brad Stevens, Greg Popovich, Quinn Snyder, Rick Carlisle.
Stop.
Come on.
No. Listen, these are all good coaches.
I need to see you do something more than lead an all-star team. That's what I need to see. With Pop, we've seen him go through several different iterations.
He was dealt, and it's a great hand.
He's playing the hand he's dealt very well.
Ryan makes a great point. Mark Jackson did a lot of good work for that young team at the time.
Say it again. Say it again.
No, but what I'm saying to you is the progress didn't stall. It continued. And I don't think you hold any. First of all, I go back to my initial statement. Who is telling you that Steve Kerr reinvented basketball?
Nobody.
Well, you said he's top 3. That's one of the problems.
When you're getting paid like a top 3 coach, you're crediting this man as if he cannot be replaced, as if somebody else can't do your job. When we grade coaches, we grade on how they build the team, how they develop young players.
Let me ask you
how they
a question.
take a guy who was just okay and they make him great. You tell me who Steve Kerr made great.
I'm going to answer your question with a question. You tell me, inside the front office of Golden State, who they would replace Steve Kerr with of the existing coaches in the NBA right now? Who
I got a sweet list. I got a sweet list.
Who they'd rather have?
Popovich, Brad Stevens,
That's
Rick
two.
Carlisle, Doc Rivers.
Really?
I would take.
Really?
Oh, they wouldn't take Mark
Doc
Jackson. But I'd
Rivers?
take Mark Jackson. Yes. Doc Rivers is a champ.
I gotta go.
And Doc Rivers. I mean, so
Really?
Doc
I'm not with Ryan on the replacement here. The thing is, I do give Steve Kerr a ton of credit for the things you're talking about.
Rated.
Managing,
That's all I said.
managing these personalities, managing these egos. But I just don't think it's the hardest thing to do in the world. I think there are other coaches doing harder jobs.
Look.
I think there are other coaches who have managed to win through different iterations, different casts of characters, different eras, who've shown real adjustment to not just style, but players. And
Well,
that
the
I
question
elevate
wasn't-
much higher.
The question wasn't who has the most difficult job in the NBA.
Hey, Wads.
The question
Well, we
was,
use that when we say
is
credit.
Steve Kerr given too much
Wads,
credit?
you know what Golden State does? They run simple, basic plays that everybody else does. But when you go and set a wide pin down for a guy like Steph Curry or KD, as a big man, I'm slipping to the rim for dunks every day. When I go and set a wide pin down for a regular player, no buckets. Nothing happening.
Pop had a falling out with Kawhi. You had the situation that you've had with LeBron James. It's not as easy as it looks to coach stars. It's not as easy.
It's
Well,
not easy.
I bet you take the stars. I bet you take that problem.
Of course I would.
Right, exactly. Ask Ty Lue and Blatt. They got championships
I
with
would
LeBron.
rather coach the Warriors than the Pistons. Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
I'm just suggesting I think Steve Kerr is rated just about where he should be rated.
Okay.
And in my world, he's
Don't
top
be a
three.
front runner, Watts. Come on, man.
It's
All right, listen
easier
here.
to
We're
run
gonna
and
get back
captain from behind. Trust me.